We heard the other day, obviously, that the BEH strategy will be implemented, which obviously means that Chace Farm Hospital will be downgraded. What did you think when you heard the news the other day? What was your reaction?
Deep disappointment. I, along with many and thousands of others, have been campaigning long and hard to retain the consultant-led A&E and maternity services, and it was disappointment. In some ways, it wasn't a whole surprise because the reality is, yes, it was incredibly important, and I was pleased that we were able to get a moratorium, a delay on the implementation of the BH strategy. And so we've had this period where we've been able to review and to try and engage with the public to find out what people thought of the situation, to get GPs much more on board, because at the end of the day, the way our health system is going is GPs need to take control of their commissioning decisions. Sadly though, despite the fact that there was opportunity given indeed to the council to liaise with everyone to get a new alternative, there was no real credible alternative that came before the independent panel, and without that credible alternative, they have taken the view, and this is a view of clinicians, that it is unsafe and unsustainable to continue with the status quo as it is. Yes. And that is hard to hear. I mean, my family's lives have been saved by Chace Farm, as others have, and I've been reliant on it. But now with the North Mid Hospital, which we're sitting in Palmer's Green, which is the local one here to Palmer's Green and elsewhere, they've already invested the money in it. They've already got the ward available for the patients from Chace Farm. It was hard for the independent panel to think that they can do anything other than go ahead with the BH strategy. Now, it pains me to see that happening, and we've now got to make sure that this decision that will be implemented by 2013, before we get to that stage, there is the investment, and now it's been promised the £30 million or so in Chace Farm, the £70 million in North Mid, and make sure that we have a service for Enfield that is fit for the purpose of Enfield as it means primary care is to be improved. And the silver lining in all is that there may well now be a new hospital trust that isn't what Barnet wants, but is about what Enfield wants, and that's what we need to look to in the future.
Okay, and just a political question on this as well. Obviously last year we heard from both Andrew Lansley and David Cameron sort of pledges to save the hospital. They seem to be throwing Chace Farm a lifeline, but is this a straightforward case of broken promises? What happened to what they were saying then?
I don't think it's a straightforward one. I think there were high expectations. The expectations were raised that if local people wanted to keep Chace Farm, then that's what would happen. But it wasn't as straightforward as that, because it was also about what the clinicians' view was. The view that David Cameron and David Lansley said, they promised, look, we'll halt what was going to happen, which was a downgrade. We'll halt it, and they did halt it. Mm-hmm. It's been halted for the last year, so they lived up to that pledge. But they also said, look, politicians aren't going to decide on this. Gone are the days when politicians can pick and choose which hospitals stay open. It has to be the clinician's view. And the clinician's view was that the strategy should be implemented because there wasn't any clinical alternative put forward in the locality, and that's the dilemma they had. And so it was a difficult decision they had to say, and ultimately it was them simply going along with the independent clinical view and allowing that to happen. And so I understand people's disappointment, and it's something which we need to ensure that we don't in any way give up on Chace Farm. Chace Farm is open. It's going to have an urgent care. We need to look at what those commissioning services could be. Indeed, Andrew Lansley said the time may come when locally the GPs together with others can decide on alternative emergency services, but it's a time when we need just to look to the future now of to make the best of things, and that's what I want to do.